vacation off at the #1 restaurant in Phoenix called Cucina Madro, something like that. I'm not really sure, but anyway, I'm going to show you our appetizer looks amazing. We have house-made guacamole, house-made chips, some fondito dip, Mexican street corn that they cut off the top for me. The chocolate chipotle pie with walnuts and spicy pecans and the churros with the Bavarian cream was amazing. After lunch, we drove to the Phoenix suburb of Peoria and checked into our friend's timeshare resort called Cibola Vista. It was a large, beautiful resort with a Southwest design. We really loved walking around the grounds and looking at all the different varieties of cacti. It had the largest pool we had ever seen. We each got our own beautiful suite, which included a living room, kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. That night, the guys sat by the poolside bar and watched football while Sheila and I ran to Walmart to get some snacks. We spent our first night here in Arizona. We're sitting out on our little patio and getting ready to enjoy some breakfast. We ended up loving the food from the food truck at the resort. After breakfast, we hopped into our rental car and drove about an hour to the scenic drive called Apache Trail. We absolutely loved this drive up into the Superstition Mountains. We drove to this cute little western town with a restaurant and gift shop. It seriously was straight out of a western movie. The inside of the restaurant was covered in dollar bills. Clinton and I shared the loaded fries. They were amazing. Even the bathrooms were fun. They had the cutest general store where I tried prickly pear gelato for the first time. One of the favorite things we did on the entire trip was go on the Dolly steamboat. It was an hour-and-a-half scenic cruise on Canyon Lake. Our next stop was at Papago Park, where we hiked a short distance to the Hole in the Rock. Our last stop on Friday was the Arizona State Fair. Can't go to a state fair without trying some crazy food. We had a giant donut that was covered in caramel sauce with bananas and whipped cream. Saturday morning, we sat out on our patio and watched hot air balloons come and go. We walked around the resort and just chilled. After lunch, we went to a nearby movie theater and watched the newest James Bond movie, No Time to Die.
We're a little windy here, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully the wind doesn't mess it up too bad. We say salute on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Salute!
Sunday morning, Sheila and I got up early and drove just 1 mile from our resort and hiked the Calderwood Butte Trail. It was a great 1.5 mile loop trail that took us up a couple hundred feet where we got awesome views of the area where we were staying as well as the mountains in the distance. Before lunch, we drove a short distance to Lake Pleasant. They had a really fun area to play in the water and a really neat playground. We ate lunch and watched some football at a nearby sports bar. We finished the day with drinks by the pool, and we set up my laptop out by the gigantic hot tub and watched the Chiefs play. Monday morning, Clinton and I walked around the resort, getting one last look in. We really enjoyed our stay here. We checked out and headed north to Sedona, about a 2-hour drive. On our way, we stopped at the very scenic Sunset Point rest area. Our first stop was the Verde Canyon Railroad. We got there around 11 o'clock to check in. They had beer tastings and we ate snacks we had brought with us. They provided charcuterie boxes and champagne on the train. The train ride was about 3.5 hours long. It was very scenic, and we learned a lot about that area. After we got off the train, we drove to the famous Chapel of the Holy Cross, but unfortunately it had already closed, so we just enjoyed it from the street level. We checked into our hotel right along the main shopping strip in Sedona and walked to the Cowboy Club Grill for dinner. It was cold, windy, and rainy, so I didn't film much, but the cornbread and chili was perfect. When we went to the lobby that morning for scones and coffee, we found out it had snowed just north of us. So we hopped in our car and found some snow. There's just something so fun about the first snow of the year. Oh my goodness, this is so pretty. As we drove back into Sedona, we stopped at the Migley Bridge area. We had a spectacular view of Wilson Canyon. Our last big adventure was a Jeep ride with the Red Rock Western Jeep Tour Company. Rip was our guide. I think he enjoyed us as much as we enjoyed having him as our tour guide. Thankfully, the open-air Jeep had heated seats since it was in the 40s. We also enjoyed the Western blankets we bought in the gift shop. Our Jeep tour took us down Soldier Pass. We saw Coffee Pot Rock, the 7 sacred pools, and Devil's Kitchen.
Leaning forward back there. It's going to keep help.
He probably has it on the gas. Straight up.
Actually, you do both.
Yeah.
Is created when a cavern forms in limestone layer and the ceiling collapses.
We took one last scenic drive down Boynton Pass Road before we drove back to Phoenix to catch our flight home. All right, well, here we are. We're getting ready to board the plane. We've had a great trip. Bob and Sheila, there's Pam, there's Clinton. Had a great time in Arizona. It's been perfect weather for October. It's been warm, it's been cool. We even seen some snow in Sedona this morning. But anyway, we are glad to be going home and planning our next trip.